Hello there, I'm the Base Manager and welcome back to Space Engineers. Now, today we are going to start a project that is going to be quite ambitious, but before we get on to talk about that, we have something else to speak of. Well, as you guys are probably aware by now, every time I go on in between episodes, I like to do a little bit of grinding and sometimes welding of stuff that is left to be welded. And well, I have a few things to show you this time because I went a little bit overboard. But it is necessary because this is episode 16. If we have any if we want to get into space before episode 5000, well, I need to start picking up the pace, and that means welding these few things here and there that are left unwelded so that we don't bother with it during an episode. But yeah, in here we can see that our assemblers now have both speed modules and power efficiency modules in a 50-50 ratio. And then I told you that I was going to build myself catwalks in the H2O2 facilities, so I did just that. Once again, this is somewhat boring to do, you know, it's just floors, but still, it looks much better now. I created a small connection over here towards our refinement area, and that's pretty much it. Now, speaking about the project that we are about to partake on. Well, while I was building the medical room over there, I told you guys that, well, I really don't know what to do next, but that is fixed. I already know what I should do next. We have a place to park our vehicles, right? Or at least our landing vehicles. Our flying vehicles, well, we only have one, which is the Firefly, but they are here, sitting in the rain. Look at it, look what the rain did to our beautiful Firefly, all rusted away. Oh well, that's why I think we need an hangar. An hangar to store our vehicles, and let me tell you, this thing is not going to be easy to build, but I'm pretty sure that at the end of the day it's going to look fan-freaking-tastic. I just had to lay down the blocks while I had the idea in mind before I forgot, so that's why they are already here, guys. I had to do this yesterday. I didn't have time to record a video, but I had time to lay down some blocks before my bright idea went away. So, the idea here is quite simple. How do we put a flying vehicle inside of a mountain? We only have two ways of doing it. We either drill a ginormous hole in the face of the mountain and we drop the vehicle vertically, which was like not ideal. Or we make a moving landing platform. I was having the thought about using these beam thingies as rails. We could build a small grid vehicle that the small grid vehicle would put the wheels on these rails, right, impeding it from moving it from left to right. And we would build the landing platform on top of it, land our vehicles on top of it, and then drive it inside of the mountain. And in there, in our hangar base, we would then have a system of pistons and magnetic plates just to put the vehicles in their proper place. That way we don't need to drive them inside of a mountain, press the wrong button and crash against the roof. Those problems won't affect us. But as you can imagine, this thing is going to take a huge amount of time, just by the amount of stuff that we need.
Energy low.
Okay, Susan, Jesus. Just by the amount of stuff that we have to drill out, that by itself is going to take a wild amount of time. The rail system is going to be complex. The crane inside to to carry the flying vehicles to their spot is also going to take its time, and yeah, all of it is going to probably take a few episodes, guys, to do, but I think it's going to look awesome. And then at the end of the day we are going to connect to the hangar through here. We are going to take this road, right? We are going to seal this area off, and then we are going to drive in this direction. Because if you see, if you take a look around here, you will see GPS markers signed as corner, top top left, top corner this, top corner that. Those are all GPS markers so that once I start drilling into the mountain, I know which direction I have to go. Because, as you might imagine, once you are inside of the mountain, it's very difficult to look outside, right? So, yeah. This is the future plan, but before we can even do that, I have a modification to do to the Firefly. Last episode we could see that the Firefly was very difficult to fly while we were carrying something on it, and well, the reason is quite simple. If you look at this, we have this thingy in the wrong place. The magnetic plate should be where the connector is. The connector should be where the magnetic plate is. Because the connector doesn't really matter where it is. We just need to connect to the grid to recharge our batteries. Now this needs to be exactly in the center of mass and center of thrust, which is right here in the middle of these two thrusters. Precisely where this thing is. So if you excuse me, I have a urgent modification to do to the Firefly so that I can keep on doing my mining trips over to the resource nodes that are a little bit far away. And voila, a quick change to the Firefly, but one change that is definitely going to make a huge difference. With this, now we'll be able to transport our vehicles in a more controlled fashion. Now, time to put the Firefly down once again. Alright, my friends, so with the Firefly dealt with, I went and I brought the monstrosity out, because this is going to be the vehicle that is going to serve us the better for the foreseeable future, but unfortunately it is not capable of climbing that well, so I must create a ramp for it first, right? I'm just going to cover these rails, not you, get out of here. Okay, so now that the rails are covered and we have a little bit of a ramp, I'm going to take the monstrosity and, well, pretty much make a ginormous hole on that face of that mountain. Now, I chose that side over there on purpose, because I scouted the mountain around us. If we go on this side, first we don't have a lot of space, and the mountain falls off pretty rapidly, meaning that we would have to make the hangar pretty compact. While over here, well, we can mine forever, we can make as big of an hangar as we want. We always have a mountain on top of our heads, so that's why I choose this to be over on that side, and then over on the inside we'll be able to connect both of the hangar and our main base via a corridor. The corridor will be definitely easier to build, but we need the hangar to be at least dug out, so we know where we want to finish the corridor at, right? Alright, here we go. Alright, my friends, so depth-wise, I think we have a good amount of space. Maybe I'll have to dig more in the future, but for now it is going to be enough to work with. Now I must go deeper a little bit more, but depth-wise I think we can fit a Firefly, a small grid hydrogen slash atmospheric hybrid over here, an exploration vehicle, and a drone, a combat drone, for us to use on base defense efforts. Now, with that said, given that the rails are going to come at a lower height, I will have to now grab the monstrosity, dig myself down a little bit, and remove one layer of rock equivalent to the level of this this block over here. So time to do another 20 minutes of digging. Well, my friends, this is a big freaking hole, if I say so myself. Jesus, so much digging, so much digging. But at the end of the day, let's just say I made so much of a mess over on the last pass that trying to have any sort of leveling mining is almost impossible. But in any case, I think I have cleared enough space for ourselves. I give it a little bit extra depth on the pit where we are going to create the rails. Because we never know, right? We might need to build a vehicle that is slightly taller than that, and that means digging the rails deeper into the ground, and for that is already nice that we have this area already cleared. And yeah, let me take the monstrosity out of here and put it on charge, because we used a lot of power on this digging operation. So I think the monstrosity deserves a good recharge session. Alright, my friends, with the monstrosity parked and with its batteries on recharge, time to go upstairs and lay down the remaining of the tracks. Go. Which means I will have to destroy the ramp. However, I don't think I'm going to bring the monstrosity over here anytime soon now, and if we do, we will have already something built for it to drive on, so it's not going to be the end of the world. Okay, so with the ramp removed and the rail extended, the first thing that I notice is that I probably am going to have to bury the rails another block down. I should probably do that right now while I still am in the prototype phase, because once things are set in motion, I mean, when for example I put the vehicle on top of this, it is set. We are not removing that vehicle anytime soon. That much I can tell you. So maybe it would not be the worst thing in the world if I did things like this. Okay, I think this is going to be the level that we are going to try and go for. I'm just going to mine this little bit by hand. I'm not going to grab the monstrosity just to dig out a few blocks. I don't think that's necessary. Alright, my friends. Now, the rails have been buried one block lower to what they were previously, and I think this looks much better now. I had to pretty much destroy a bunch of landscape, but oh well, it's all going to be covered eventually, so let's not despair too much about that. I placed some stoppers on both ends because I kinda want to build the a proto version of the vehicle, because I kind of want to see if this is going to work or not. Yeah, I'm somewhat like unsure on how to do this, because it's like the first time that I'm going to attempt such a thing. So, well, I suppose I better get started with it and fail so that I can learn from my mistakes and eventually get it right. Okay, my friends, so looking at all the wheels, I think I finally found the contender. It's going to be the 5x5s. They fit in here perfectly, or at least according to their frame they do, so we'll have to see. I had to try different heights, different offsets, and everything. I also tried different wheel types. I even tried to put the 1x1s upside down to see if they would grip to this thing. They will, but I don't think I want to trust this. Not in that configuration at least. So yeah, I think we have our contenders. It's going to be 5x5 wheels. Now I just have to grind down a bunch of stuff. So yeah, time to grind down all of this and start to think seriously on a ship design for this. Okay, my friends, chassis-wise, I think that we are going to go for it. For this, I might try to find the middle point and add a couple more wheels. But other than that, it's a pretty simple design that is going to take a very long time to do, given that I will have to weld every single block individually. There is no large blocks to help me out over here. There'll have to be a bajillion light armor blocks. That's fine. That's fine. Now, the important part in the middle of all of this is actually to build a bunch of batteries, because at least while I'm building this, they are recharging. So let's put as many as I can, actually, over here, because truth be told, this power is not going to be wasted. I intend on creating either a connector or a merge block or something. Make sure that this thing is connected to the main grid. Aww. Really? It's a bummer. Make sure that this thing is connected to the main grid. That way it can recharge, these batteries can share their power with the remaining of the base, and all of that. But given these circumstances, I don't think we need all of this. Let's get rid of a couple, and then let's proceed by adding... I don't think we should go for the top just yet. We should try and figure out how to connect this, how to put a connector on this bad boy, and what other kind of things he's going to need. I'm pretty sure this thing is going to need more than just batteries. We are going to probably need a control seat for this, at least in the beginning, until I find a automatic way to do this that doesn't require player control. But for a start, I think we are going to need some sort of cockpit around here. Probably going to edit it underneath the main platform, so that we don't have to deal with it once we figure out how to do this automatically. Yeah, batteries, not even a gyro is needed. Batteries and a cockpit is actually all this thing needs, and then a connector on the front, probably around here. Right there. We then put a connector all the way over here, right? A large grid connector facing that way, and that is going to allow us to connect the transport vehicle to the main grid. Yeah, I think that's the way I'm going to go with this. Alright, time to do a little bit more welding. These batteries need to be welded so they can recharge now. Okay, my friends, so I welded the wheels, batteries and whatnot, but before I got any more committed, I had to figure out if this was big enough to transport the Firefly, and just looking at it, I'm pretty sure it is. We just need one thing to be connected, like one landing gear to it, but I think this thing is big enough for the 3 landing gears to be connected. But even if that was the case, we could always modify the Firefly a little bit. We could put the landing gears slightly inwards if that was the case. Cool, I like what I see, I like the way this is going. I don't like the tremendous amount of welding that is awaiting me. But other than that, I think this is actually going pretty well. Alright, my friends, it took me a while, but I finally got the platform in place. Yeah, I'm not going to weld this by hand. It was tedious enough putting the blocks in place. I just welded around it, just to be sure, right? And while I was welding, I kind of figured out how I'm going to do this without needing a cockpit. Maybe we are going to need a cockpit, but not to, we won't need to use it. We are only going to need 4 buttons for this. Going to be pretty simple. Forward, backwards, stop, and lock. That simple. Maybe another one for like parking brake or something if necessary. Let's see, where are my buttons? I had them just now. Here they are. Go, another button, and then we can even... Are they? Here they are. Even put tiny little displays telling us what these things actually do. And in here we are actually going to have a tiny little window so that we can see what the hell is going on in front of us. And that's pretty much all that there is to it. A pretty simple design to help us out move this thing. I'm going to set the limit on these wheels like super slow. This platform is going to be moving super slowly because our alignment must be almost perfect with the interior pistons that we are going to have to drag the vehicles from the platform and into their parking spots. Cool. So now I'm just going to do a small adjustment to this. I'm going to add another row so that this display is not exactly in the corner. I kind of want to have this pillar clear, just for aesthetical purposes. And maybe we can proceed by actually detaching this from the main grid and testing this out. So wish me luck. I sure hope that I didn't miscalculate the height of this, because I want this to be aligned in line with this level, and I want to be all seamlessly. I want it to be on the same level. Okay, I cannot pronounce the word. It has been a few hours now, so my brain is starting to shut down. But worry not. It's, what is ahead of us is actually pretty simple, so I don't have to think about it too much. There we go, guys. All looking good. Looks rather nice, actually. Once these panels have been set up properly, I think this is going to be a pretty neat control station. And we even have a glass window for us to see where we are going. Now, I'm not going to weld all of this by hand because I have a vehicle capable of doing just that. Given that we're going to be doing a lot of welding of stuff that just require plates. I'm pretty sure this is a job for the weldie. Now, I think I am going to need at least a passenger seat on this thing somewhere so that I can create groups. And just like that. And control the vehicle from control panel. No, I could actually build a control panel from here. Yeah, I'm going to try and do that. If I can not build a seat or a cockpit on this thing, I actually am going to try to do just that, because this is not a vehicle, at least in the normal sense, so it should not have a cockpit. Alright, so now we even have a control panel over here, which means we'll be able to create groups and assign tasks and stuff like that. And that kind of things is actually better done after this is detached from the main grid, because then we'll have to search amongst a much smaller list. And with that in mind, I actually think we are ready to go. I already renamed these wheels to make it easier on myself. The battery is not really going to need. After we are detached from that, we can go and create a group for the batteries and remove them from recharge. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. Okay, here goes nothing, guys. Here goes nothing. I hope I haven't forgot anything, but if I did, well, now we're done. Okay, the wheel seems to be fitting it in there just right. Just on this side. I mean, not really. I can see a huge gap. It should fit. We'll have to test it out. Okay, let's go. Oh, one thing that I noticed, however, my math was wrong once again. Damn it! I counted the blocks. Why are you doing this to me? It is what it is. Let's go over here. Search for the batteries. Create a group for all of them. Platform. Battery. Okay, and let's put them on auto so that everything is well set in place. I mean, for testing purposes, given that we are going to be doing driving, I think I'm going to build a cockpit just to test, okay? It's not going to say in here. Okay, cockpit built. Let's see. First, before I do something stupid, wheel group. This is very important. In here, okay, steering. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Power. For now, let's go for 50% strength. Going to be fairly heavy, so let's give it 15%. This I have no idea. Speed limit like as slow as humanly possible. Say 10 kilometers per hour. Everything else, we're going to leave it be, at least for now. Okay, so let's move forward a little bit. Huh. Well, it does work. Max speed is like 2 meters per second, so I like it. Probably should put even less. I just want to see what happens if what happens when I touch on the bumps. Of course, I'm going to do it very slowly. I kind of want to see if I go over it. Yeah, that appears to be the case. Yeah. I don't know why, but I don't think we are completely fitted in within the rails. It looks like we are, but for some reason I have the feeling that we are going to derail very easily on this thing. Okay, my friends, so in order to help us with the most obvious problem, derailing, I think I came up with a solution. I'm just going to stick these 1x1 wheels in the thingy, in the rail, right, in the beam block, and see if this has some sort of collision, if it collides with that, if it stops us, and then I can even adjust the wheel's offset to be close to this side of here, to make sure that we never get out of track. This is more like it. I like this much better now. I feel much safer. Let's try it out, see if this is going to make any difference. Hopefully it will. I mean, it would appear that we are colliding. It's very difficult to see. Okay, I think... Yeah, you see? How we bump on it and go forward. Nice, okay, at least that. And that railing should keep us from moving out, not railing, those two small 1x1 wheels on the railing should prevent us from moving away, especially if I build a field like this on the front. Yeah, oh shit, no, don't do that, don't press X, oof. Okay. Cool, now, to drop the platform, that is going to be a challenge in a... It's going to be a ginormous challenge, and I don't think I'm capable of doing just yet. I'm going to have to think about this because we are one block higher than we should. And the height on this thing is going to be important. I would rather be one block lower, if you ask me. So what I'm thinking is going to be something very risky. But we have a couple of small merge blocks over here. I already made the calculations, although my calculations, as per usual, are not the best. In fact, I think we are one block lower than we should. Just to be honest. It should be 4, not 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, in any case, I don't even know if my math is right or wrong. Is one of those things that we are going to have to check it out when the time comes. But the idea would be pretty simple. We use these 2 merge blocks, one right there, another one right there. We can even put 2 on the front. We bring the Firefly, we attach the Firefly. We destroy a bunch of unwelded blocks in the process. That's fine. It's totally fine. I'm ready to accept that cost. And then we use the Firefly to keep this super stable. Drop it very gently until they merge in place, and then we keep building from there. We reinforce that beam, this primary beam over here, and it should be okay. Oof, okay, now to try this one out, this is going to be beautiful, I'm pretty sure. This is going to be a spectacle, of that I'm certain. Let's just hope that it doesn't end with a fiery explosion. But oh well, suppose that what I'm going to do is I'm going to build another row of blocks over here, just to guide me, because I'm pretty sure that this is going to help out a lot. Okay, if I add the plates, but this is going to help us out by keeping the platform in its place. There is only a tiny little gap, so this should not go anywhere. And well, I mean, I don't even know if this is going to work, or how is this going to work. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, let's do this. Alright, attempt number 1. Here we go. Let's land the Firefly on the platform. Let's move a little bit forward, try to be as in line as humanly possible. Come on, attach, please. Attach. Attach. You have attachment? I see sparks. Shit, I don't want to see sparks. Oh my god, this is going to be so painful. Well, this is why we saved the game, right? Right, I probably should save again. But in any case, here we go. Things are going to go wrong. This is it, guys. Okay. I was expecting the platform to fall and explode in 1,000 bits. Okay, now we are going to go into the Firefly. I'm not going to touch the freaking mouse, except for moving around. Okay, and then... Oh shit, the platform. The guiding platform thingy. It needs to go away, and it needs to go away now. One there, one block there, another one block, another one over there. Should be more than enough to guide us. These 2 blocks over here, you guys need to go. That block over there should be enough to guide us. This is a almost brain surgery type of thingy. Let's go down slightly. Gently. Gently. On merge blocks, please. Do your magic! Yes! Yes, it worked! It worked! The platform has been lowered. I can't believe it works. Oh my god. Oof, my heart is racing. I didn't think I was up for the challenge. But now the platform is leveled. Yes! God. Now let's list a parking brake. Remove the Firefly from over here. And see what kind of damage have we done. Okay, so the merge block method has worked. I had to deconstruct the cockpit for obvious reasons. It was not going to fit. But now we have a perfectly heighted platform. Oh, I didn't think this could go on any better than it went. I'm really happy with the result. Okay, so let me just get rid of this, so that we can think what is the next step, because now we have our transport platform ready. We could see that we could fit the Firefly in it, so no issue there. These measurements over here, this pillar right there, and this pillar right there, these ones, these are not in here by random chance. This is the comfortable distance that we need to have our tunnel to transport the Firefly through it. Because as we could see, the wings would come all the way over here, plus one block of space just for margin of error, because I might not always land centered. And look! The gods of space engineers approve of what I did. They even bring to me a freaking present right to my doorstep. I can't believe this thing, if not recorded, would be unbelievable. But yeah, one block of safety just to make sure that the Firefly or any other vehicle doesn't explode in tiny bits when they collide with the... Okay, some credits and some plates. I'll take those. What is the button? What is the button on this? Oh, it's over there. Nice, cow grinder. Cool, I'm going to grind you down as well now. Okay, my friends, so I already welded the front guides. I have completely removed steering and propulsion from the four of them. They are there just to just to guide us, right? I have set them, these ones as well as the others, so that they are touching the inner rail. Just for, you know, I think that is going to help us stay on track if we don't wobble around too much. And other than that, the only thing left for us to do is to figure out how are we going to do this, right? First, let's go into the wheel group, right? The platform wheels. Let's reduce the speed even further to half of this, 5 kilometers per hour. That's good enough. Now, if we go over here to the groups, right, we have the platform wheels. What can we do to make it so that they move forward from the options that we get from this menu? Okay, so I think I figured out a way to do this, maybe with propulsion override. Although this is a tad bit finicky, I don't know if I trust this too much. But for now it seems to be the only way that I have to do this. If we put one button on propulsion, going into the positive, that is going to send us backwards. Into the negatives, it's going to send us forwards. That's because I have propulsion override inversion on. So if we go into this takes us inward. It requires a minimum of 30 to do this. Like 10% is not enough. But could that be because of the power of the wheels? Maybe that could be it if we increase the power to the maximum. Nah, not happening. Jesus, why are you not moving? Okay, now that's scary. Okay, so I think the movement problem was somewhat solved. Somewhat. I think it was the 1x1s that got stuck on something. Probably because I'm still riding on unwelded blocks. And that tends not to make things super easy. But hey, it was working with these things in place. So I'm going to put them back now that I figured out the problem. Okay, let me just put this in place so that At least we can call this done. Okay, there we go. This time I'm not going to give it such a aggressive offset. This is still good enough to prevent us from derailing, but is not going to get us stuck anymore, or at least that's what I'm thinking. In any case, I have wasted enough time on this already. Well, not wasted, we got a lot of it done. Just look at this. Look at the amount of space that I have dug out, and the ginormous platform that we have built. Things are looking pretty good for that project of creating an hangar to store all of our vehicles. Probably I'm going to have to expand it a little bit more, but as I build this platform all the way over to the end of the ginormous hole that we have on the mountain, I will then bring the monstrosity and clear a little bit more rocks around here. Well, my friends, it is time for some bad news, good news. Well, but we are going to have to start with the bad news. Bad news is, this is not going to work. I have been troubleshooting this for quite a long time now. I added more wheels, I even welded the beams, because I thought that the fact that they were unwelded, it was messing with the physics, and then that would probably not be not helping a lot, but yeah, that actually even made things a little bit worse. And I notice one thing, that in my tests of going back and forward just to see what is working and what is not, we are actually slowly derailing. Just see this gap over here. Check this one out. As we can see, we are no longer perfectly centered, and pretty much what happened after all of the troubleshooting, my conclusions is, these things, they don't work. Period. They simply don't work as I intended. They work on stopping the trolley from going over, right? It comes over here and it stops. But unfortunately, it does not work on the other task this thing was supposed to achieve, which was to keep this on track, right? What is happening is that these things, these wheels, slowly but steadily are digging themselves in, their geometry, into the beams, and they pretty much get stuck and make sure that this is impossible to control, which means no matter what I do, there is no way of having this work like this. Terrible news. I know, guys, I know. But it's not all bad, because I had a plan B from the start. This was my plan A. My idea was to keep this as an individual piece, separated from the main grid, with only connect to recharge, and that would be it. However, a few changes will have to be implemented, given that that is not going to work consistently. I can make it work like one time and then it gets stuck again, so yeah. If we want something consistent, we'll have to throw pistons at it. I really wanted to avoid this because it's a less than elegant solution, right? But pretty much I made my final measurements on the hangar bay. We have all the space that we need for 3 parking spots. These parking spots are based on the size of the Firefly. We have these 3 spots, and then which was the intended space. We can even duplicate this on the other side if we want to. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig a hole over here, right? And I'm going to stick a billion pistons over there, and then I'm going to connect the pistons to the trolley over here. We are going to deconstruct this connector, and we are going to attach a small rotor head to the to one of these blocks. We attach a rotor without a head to the piston. We extend the piston until both rotor and rotor head connect. We attach them together, and voila, we have this attached to the main grid via pistons. Then the pistons are going to be in charge of moving these back and forward. We can remove these things, and we no longer need to concern ourselves with this thing derailing, because it's going to be essentially attached to a piston. But that's something that I will have to do in the next episode, guys, because it's been a very long time, and I'm probably already overextending myself in this episode. So with all of that said, guys, I'll be eager to hear your suggestions. I'm pretty sure you guys have ideas that I am not having right now that might help in fixing this. But in any case, and with all of that said, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode and that you are enjoying the series so far. If you are, please consider subscribing and help the channel grow. But in the meantime, this is the Base Manager signing out. Bye bye!